More than half of the senators want Health Secretary Francisco Duque III to leave his post with what they call as failed leadership during the COVID-19 crisis. In Senate Resolution number 362 filed today, the senators cited series of acts of the health chief which they believe showed his negligence, lack of foresight, and inefficiency in performing his mandate, which they deemed resulted in poor planning, delayed response, lack of transparency, and misguided policies in addressing the COVID-19 pandemic. One of them was his stance not to impose travel ban from China during the question hour at the House of Representatives last January. Another was when he revealed in a Senate hearing in February that only 17% was done in the contact tracing of the two Chinese nationals, the first cases of COVID-19 in the country, and blamed the airline companies for slow progress. The senators also took note of the quote-unquote dismal failure of the agency to provide personal protective equipment or PPEs for healthcare workers. They also cited the incident at the National Center for Mental Health, which resulted in 34 staff members testing positive for COVID-19, along with 297 personnel to become persons under investigation and 181 under persons under monitoring. The resolution adds Duque exposed many Filipinos to risk when he failed to alert the medical community and the public about the patients admitted in health facilities who were already exhibiting COVID-19 symptoms, while insisting that the country still had 0 cases of local transmission. The health chief, according to senators, also showed lack of foresight by not immediately stockpiling PCR-based testing kits to make them available for mass testing. The resolution also cited the claim of the secretary in April that the country had relatively low cases of infection and compared to richer countries because of the better containment of the disease, where in fact the senators say the country has been lagging behind other nations in terms of testing capacity. It also noted that the DOH failed to act fast in facilitating accreditation of testing centers, which slows the response of local government units, such as the delayed inspection of the Marikina Testing Center. Lastly, Duque, according to the senators, refused and failed to immediately invoke Section 12 of the Medical Act that would allow graduates of medical schools to render medical services under special authorization amid the deaths among health professionals. Senator Panfilo Lacson says in a statement they agreed not to recommend any replacement should Duque resigns, as they leave it to the president to decide for a competent leader to take the helm of the health department amid the crisis. Carlene Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Rodrigo Duterte wants Health Secretary Francisco Duque III to stay in his post despite of the sentiments of several senators against him. Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea, in a statement, says the president also expects the health chief to work even harder to set aside doubts on his capacity and sincerity to serve the public during this COVID-19 crisis. Malacanang has earlier said the palace has nothing to do with the calls for Duque to step down from his post.
Wala pa po kaming posisyon, wala po kaming kinalaman kung talagang merong ganyang inisyatibo na pag-resignin ang ating kalihim ng Secretary of Health. And gaya ng paulit-ulit ko nang nasasabi sa mga nakalipas na panahon, every cabinet member serves at the pleasure of the President, and habang hindi sila tinatanggal, the President continues to have full trust and confidence in them.